All right, Coach Dave here for your weekly brief for the week of February 12th. I believe it's week 7 in the exemplar cycle. A quick update on if you've been involved in the EFT flag saga, your hard work and dedication to the cause has led to Madam Director Kelly Rongo sending me an EFT flag. So next weekly brief, hopefully I have a nice EFT flag here. We'll see. I'll keep you updated on that. The professionalism scale is increasing on this weekly brief situation. It was probably a 3 last week for the first one. Maybe a 4 now because the dog's not going to be in this one. And then hopefully it'll be like a 5 or 6 with at least a flag in the background. Anyways, let's get into this. Your training for the week of February 12th. Monday, lower body strength, some lower body hypertrophy, and then a short Metcon, short being 5 to 10 minutes. Your strength's down to 2 or back-to-back squats for a heavy set of 2. Build up to a heavy set of 2. However many sets that takes. In the app, it's going to say 5 by 2. It doesn't mean do 5 sets of 2. It means the number of sets is there as a reference. It's not saying specifically this is how many sets you should do. If you can get up to a heavy 2 in 3 sets, great. If it takes 10 sets, that's fine. You can add sets in the app if you want to log all those weights. You don't really have to. You can just log the last 5. It's up to you. But the training intent is just to get one heavy set of 2 reps in on the back squat. If you're feeling good, go for a 2 rep max. Really push it if you're feeling good. If you're not feeling particularly strong or feeling particularly good, then just get to that heavy 2. Nice maintenance dose of lower body strength for you. Now, we're at sets of 10, up from sets of 8 on the hypertrophy work. And look at from 3 weeks ago, we did these. Let me take a look here. We got reverse lunges. 2 weeks ago, you had reverse lunges for sets of 8. And then 4 weeks ago, you had reverse lunges for sets of 10. So I went 10, and the next time reverse lunges came around, you did 8, and then we're going back up to 10. So ideally, if you're getting stronger, if you're newer to training, you could probably use the same weight you used for sets of 8 and now use it for sets of 10. That is your progressive overload. If you've been training for a long time, you're pretty well conditioned and comfortable with these movements, you're well versed in these movements, take a look at what you did for sets of 10 last time and try to add some weight. Add as little as 5 pounds, as little as 2.5 pounds. Add some weight. If you're unable to add weight, change the tempo. So if last time you moved kind of quickly through the movement, slow down the rep speed. So there's more of that tension, more time under tension. Progress something, if only by a little bit. Okay, and that goes for Monday's training, Tuesday's training, and Flex Friday. All those days have some sort of progression, whether it's weight or slowing down rep speed. Some kind of overload. And then for the conditioning, we got ground to overhead and pull-ups. Ground to overhead with the barbell, 95 pounds, so it's on the lighter side for most people. If it's heavy, if it's too heavy, drop the weight. It's more about, so this is an AMRAP, a 7-minute AMRAP, as many reps as possible in 7 minutes. If you want to drop the weight, that's perfectly fine. It's more about training at a high intensity for 7 minutes than it is about specific weights, all right? The movements matter more because the movements are all balanced across the days and the weeks. I spend a lot of time, I handwrite it all out, making sure that I'm not doubling up movements or I'm doing vertical push movements too often compared to hinge movements and what have you. So adjust the weight as needed. Make it something that's doable for you. I'm not saying make it effortless, but make it appropriate for you based on your strength level. So that's Monday. Tuesday, February 13th, we have basically the upper body version of what you had Monday. So it's upper body strength. For the strength, slow eccentric bench press with a 5-second eccentric, 5-second lowering of the bar. And that means a true 5 seconds. You know who you are. You're doing 3 seconds. Take the time, really count it appropriately. 5 full seconds, pause at the bottom, and then explode up as fast as you can from the bottom. Don't do this number where you're lowering it 1, 2, 3, and then bounce it off your chest. It's 5 seconds from the top to all the way to the bottom, slow all the way to the bottom, pause, and then explode up from there. All right. be strict on yourself, be disciplined with yourself on the eccentric time. And then we have the upper body hypertrophy movements, snatch, grip, bent over rows, and upright rows at sets of 10. Again, same thing, progressive overload something, either tempo or weight. And then a circuit's going to be a 12, 9, 6, 3 with a vertical press with a burpee. So that's kind of a compound set of pushing movements. You have a vertical push and a horizontal push. And there's some legs involved there, but that's going to be it's going to be hard work on the upper body, but it's the reps are low and the weights on the lighter side, 12, 9, 6, 3. So it should be a burner, particularly on the upper body, but send it, and it'll be a good one. Wednesday is your active recovery, EF combatives, drills there for you. Thursday, power day with your moderate duration Metcon and then some core work. With the power, push press, this particular movement, push press, is inherently a power movement. Sometimes you have to intentionally go lighter on weight, because with the strict press, it's all upper body. You're not using your legs at all. You're not popping it up at all. It's all upper body. So you have to intentionally lower the weight to make it light, to be able to move it fast, right? That's what makes it a power move, to make it fast. Push press, by the very nature of the exercise, is a power movement. You dip with the legs, drive up with the legs through a stable core. That force goes up through the bar and the weight pops up. So a push press by itself is moderate. So with a push press, you can push the weight heavier. Just make sure you can stick to the every minute on the minute. With this one, it's 8 sets, every minute on the minute of a push press single. Then we get into our circuit. It's a 15-minute AMRAP. We have a 3, 6, 9 with some weightlifting and some calisthenics, and then into a 200-meter run. Now, you can do this a couple different ways. You could go full send on the weightlifting and the calisthenics, and then treat your run like it's a recovery. That's probably the best way to do it. If you could also just kind of keep a more moderate, steady pace throughout. 'Cause 15 minutes is a long time. You're going to be ripping through this a handful of times. So a couple different ways to do it. Like I said, burn through the weightlifting and the calisthenics, and then treat the 200-meter run almost like a recovery run, and then burn through the weightlifting calisthenics again. Or treat the whole thing just go at a more moderate pace throughout, so that you're maintaining the same intensity the full 15 minutes. What you don't necessarily want to do, not that it's terrible, but what you don't necessarily want to do is go so hard the first 3 minutes that you're just barely hanging on. The rest of it's just like recovering and getting some reps in here and there when you can. I'd rather almost see you do a more moderate pace, more appropriate pace for the duration, so that it's steady throughout. So keep that in mind. I mean, if you go full send and you have to survive the last 10 minutes, it's still good training. It's still, it's going to be mentally challenging, that's for sure. But again, I think it's better if you have a more a pace that you can maintain throughout, that's appropriate for that time. If it's a 3-minute Metcon or conditioning, then full send. I mean, it's 3 minutes, so go as hard as you can. If it's a 30-minute Metcon, it's something like a Murph, then I think you just gotta. The move is to a steady pace. All right, just a nice steady throughout for those longer ones. Planks, you got your low plank and your side plank. The duration has progressively increased throughout this cycle, but if you're someone that's new to training, you're new to EFT, and you're just jumping in this cycle right now, here's the thing. With these planks, it's 3 minutes and 30 seconds, but it's accumulate a total of 3 minutes and 30 seconds. It's not do one plank for a minute, 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So you can take breaks. Try not to. That's the idea, is you take as few breaks as possible, but all it is accumulating that amount of time. You're not a failure if you don't do a 3 minute, 30 second plank. Okay, so just try to take as few rests as possible. Same with the side plank. For this week, it's 2 minutes and 10 seconds per side. You could even do, say you can make it 1 minute and 30 seconds, leaving you with 40 seconds left to go on one side, flip it right over and do 1 minute 30 seconds on the other side, and then go back, finish the last 40 seconds, go back to finish the last 40 seconds. So you could go back and forth with these side planks. It doesn't have to be do just left side, and then once you get to 2 minutes and 10 seconds, then do just right side. Keep that in mind. You could do it that way. I'm just saying from a time efficiency standpoint, you could go back and forth. Again, minimize the number of times you have to switch or take breaks, though, of course. Friday, your Flex Friday. So reps are moving back up now. They were dropping down. They dropped down to 8 sets of 8, and now we're moving back up to sets of 10. Like I mentioned before, take a look at what you did last time when you were bench pressing for sets of 10, which on Flex Friday was January 19th. The idea is this Flex Friday, you do more weight than you did on January 19th with these same exact movements on purpose. It's not, I promise you, it's not laziness. We're just not trying to introduce too much novelty. We want you to know what your weights were at sets of 8, at sets of 10, and then to see them again now, a month later, I want you to try to do more weight than you did last time. All right, it's a 1, that's how you build muscle, and 2, that's how you track progress. So weights should be moving up. If you don't have the weights available, or if you're going and you're trying to do more weight, but you can't do good reps for full sets of 10, that happens. That's fine. Slow down the tempo this time. Just move. I always do the bicep curl, but if you're doing a bicep curl this fast, this time go slower. All right, squeeze at the top, go all the way down, full extension at the bottom, full range of motion. So either increase the weight or decrease the tempo. All right, beating a dead horse with that. Now, your Tactical Saturday, it's a cognitive drill for your tactical skill integration. Find a vehicle, memorize as much as you can about it. Give yourself about 5 minutes to memorize every little detail about it, license plate, all that, any damage, color, make, model, all that. And then at the end of the workout, try to attempt to recall. You may not remember everything that you saw or everything that you tried to remember. That's fine. It's just the act of trying to remember will help boost your memory, your capacity and ability to do it in the future, in real life, in these workouts. If you're not outside or a place where there's cars, just look up a picture of a random city street with cars in it, pick one out, try to memorize all the details you possibly can in 5 minutes, and then attempt to recall at the end. Again, it's the act of looking at something, memorizing everything you can, and then attempting to recall later that you're going to see benefits. The attempt is not necessarily the success. All right, I think you'll find, because we work this in quite often, I think you'll find that you'll get better and better at it. And then for the workout itself, 6 rounds of calisthenics. So it's all calisthenic movements, pull-ups, push-up, air squat, and then a 30-second plank, which is in there it's in there intentionally more as like a 30-second rest. But you're still working. It's just you're not, you're resting the other muscles that you're working through with the other movements. And then, so 6 rounds, burn through those, and then full send on a 800-meter run buyout. If you want to row, it'd be 1,000 meters. All right. That should be a good one. Of course, starting out, don't skip out on the agility or the plyometrics we have worked in here. 6 rounds of 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off with a touch on a box. You can always modify these if you don't have a box. I mean, for box jumps, modification is just to do a jump squat. It's just being explosive. It's being explosive with your own body weight, usually not very high reps. But of course, these have been progressing throughout the cycle and rotating through. So be explosive with those power moves, those plyometrics. Don't skip out on them. I mean, from an effectiveness standpoint, for the job, for life in general, plyometrics, although less fun than lifting weights for most people, still very important. Okay, that is your week of February 12th. Hopefully next week I'll have a cool EFT flag back here. Probably should paint this room and set it up a little bit better, but this is what you get for now. This is what I got for now. Have a good week. Train hard. If you got any questions, we're in the chat. We're there. We try to answer chats as quickly as we possibly can, but all your coaches have full-time jobs in law enforcement, so we don't want to get fired from our jobs. So we answer them as quickly as we can. We're happy to help. We also have the Facebook page you can check out. Coaches are in there. And then you can go direct with Coach Jack if you email coach@effective.fitness. He'll go over form or technique, look at critique videos of form and technique, any questions on billing or on your membership or other features or other things that you can get through your membership. If you have any questions on that stuff, you can always email Coach Jack at coach@effective.fitness. We're happy to help. We want you to be training. We want you to train hard. All right, I'll leave it at that. Have a good week.